Yo guys, it's your boy Hybrid Hit Squad. We're back again with another football commentary style video. Today I'll be covering Arsenal Football Club and how I think they can turn the season around or at least improve on the really poor start they had at the start of the season. So, I think we all know they started off their season with 3 losses against Brentford, Chelsea and Man City. In that order, we've now had the international break and their first game back will be against Norwich, then Burnley, I believe, and then Tottenham. So I think Arsenal have been really unlucky to start this season off. They had a lot of players out with COVID. Mikel Arteta even said himself that he was surprised the game didn't get called off on Friday because they had so many players missing. Not on, what am I saying on Friday? This was a few weeks ago against Brentford. So the game didn't get called off against Brentford because they had so many players missing. But I think once they've got all their players back, it's a starting 11 that could at least be a bit better than where they finished in 8th last season. Definitely Mikel has made some questionable decisions. The decision to ostracise Torreira, Guendouzi and Saliba. Two of the club's brightest young stars at the moment in Saliba and Guendouzi, and Torreira, who's also at a decent age and fairly accomplished in his own right. But they've all gone out on loan. So we'll be focusing on the players that they've currently got now and where they'll play and how I think Arsenal could do once they've got all these players back and if they stay injury free and perform the way they should be performing every week in and week out. So in goal, I've actually gone with Ramsdale, the big signing, Aaron Ramsdale, and this is because Leno had slightly expressed the possibility of being prepared or being open to a move, and saying that once his contract runs out and all this, like he'd be prepared to move and all that stuff. So once a player even hints at that, he shouldn't be starting. He shouldn't be starting. He shouldn't even be anywhere near the team. He should only come in unless Ramsdale's injured. Because we've signed Ramsdale, so I'm assuming we're going to play him because we signed him for a big fee, even more than what we paid for Leno. So I'm looking forward to Ramsdale playing. Back-to-back relegations for him, obviously. Not a good look. Even though you're a goalkeeper, there's not a massive amount you can do. You know, a goalkeeper's not going to keep a team up. A striker will keep a team up. A rock-solid defence can keep a team up. A on-fire striker can keep a team up. A great goalkeeper can't keep a team up, unfortunately. So he's been unfortunate at Ramsdale to be at 2 teams that have been relegated, but clearly hasn't affected his value because Arsenal still paid about 30 million for him all in all. So I'm starting with him in goal. He played against West Brom, which was their only win so far this season in the League Cup, and played pretty well. Didn't really get tested in terms of his shot saving, but in terms of distribution showed that he's quite accomplished. But of course it's West Brom's reserves. Much tougher tests lie ahead. So we'll go with Ramsdale in goal. Left back, of course, we've got Kieran Tierney, a very, very solid defender and great going forward also. Blistering pace. Hardly had any injuries at Celtic. Comes to Arsenal, always injured. Very annoying. Very, very annoying. But when everyone's fit, this is the 11 that I'm going with, and that's what I've been going with. When everyone's fit, that's what we go with. And Tierney, when he's fit, he's Arsenal's best left back, hands down. Then at centre back, we'll go with Gabriel. Had a really strong start last season when he joined Arsenal. Fell off towards the second half of the season. Was a bit shaky at times, but he's not old. I think he's fairly young. I think he's 24, even younger maybe. So got plenty of time to improve. And I say improve. He was still one of our better defenders, if not our best defender, apart from David Luiz last season. And then that's Gabriel for left-sided centre-back, a really good signing, I think, also. A player that we've signed. He's come straight into the team. Organises the defence decently. Well, he's alright, he does his thing pretty well, but I'm looking forward to him really kicking on this season because I think he's got a high ceiling. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Gabriel this season, and we're going with him at left-sided centre-back. Right-sided centre-back, we're going to go with the £50 million man, Ben White. Wow. I mean, talk about overpaying. nonetheless, Arsenal signed a player with versatility. He can play centre mid, defensive midfielder, could probably even do a job at central midfield as well, because he's got the passing range. And a lot of people were comparing this transfer to a Harry Maguire type signing, where you can overpay for a good player. I actually see it more of a John Stones from Everton to Man City type signing, because you've got a guy who's got a few years of Premier League experience now. I'm pretty sure he's been at Brighton for a few years now. Plays a similar style of football that Arsenal play. Beat us many times, Brighton did. But yeah, got a similar style of play that Arsenal have. They want to play at the back. He's good at passing. He can progress the ball forward, recycle possession. Fine. Ben White can do that. Similar to John Stones, where his main attribute is his ball playing. He's good on the ball. He can distribute the ball, recycle possession, get the ball, progress it forward. And also you can overpay for good players. You can pay 50 million, 60 million, 70 million for a player, and just because he's not worth that doesn't mean he's a bad player. And I think that's what we've got with Ben White. We're going to need to be patient because he's not got the height. So now it's on. So when I see these sort of situations, I think that it's established what he is. I've watched him play one game for Arsenal. I know aerially that's not his strength. So now it's up to Mikel Arteta to try and cover that up now. Because this isn't a shock to anyone now. It's established. It's established he's not that good in the air, so what are you going to do to cover him? Who are you going to bring in to cover him? So Ben White's going to be our right-sided centre-back. At right-back, I'm going to go with Tomiyasu at right-back. I think Cedric gets a hard time. I think he's serviceable at right-back. I really don't think he's that bad at all. I prefer him to Bellerin. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I like him also, but I'm not sure if his heart is at the club, unfortunately, because I like what Ainsley Maitland-Niles could potentially bring to the team. He doesn't bring it often enough when he does play. Often when he plays, he's fairly poor, as is the whole Arsenal team. To be honest, they are a fairly inconsistent team. But I always liken it to how at Man City, Fabian Delph was playing left back, and essentially in possession he would float into the midfield and support there. If Ainsley Maitland-Niles can do that, there's no reason why he can't do that. But on the right side, there's no reason why he can't be our Fabian Delph. But yeah, like I said, I'm not sure if his heart's still here at Arsenal. So for the time being, it will be Tomiyasu, who Arsenal signed on deadline day. A defender that I really like. I've seen some highlights. I've never watched him play a full game, but I've seen some highlights. Looks really good, really strong physically, but that is in Serie A. But still, looks big as well. And maybe that's why Mikel Arteta brought him in, to make up for Ben White's lack of aerial ability. He brought in Tomiyasu, who's really tall. Those are the sort of signings I like to see because they benefit each other. They complement each other, rather. So yeah, I've gone with Tomiyasu at right back, and then double pivot in the midfield of Xhaka and Partey. I think when everyone's fit right now, that's probably our best centre mid partnership. I think Lokonga has got a really high ceiling as well. I'm looking forward to seeing him play as well. And he probably will play over the next couple of games where Xhaka got COVID and also got the red card against Man City, which I'll talk about in a minute. But Partey also, just like Tierney, hardly had any injuries at his previous club. Comes to Arsenal, always injured. It's very annoying, especially because we paid 50 million for him as well. So it's very frustrating. But nonetheless, like I said, when they're both fit, they are the best midfield pivot we've got. And just to go back onto Xhaka's red card, I think as Arsenal fans we think we miss those hard crunching tackles, the aggression, the borderline, not say violence, but that being prepared to do what needs to be done. We miss that. But football has changed, unfortunately, where that sort of mentality is frowned upon. There's a lot more protection on the players and on the referees. So when you're willing to fight for your team, it's frowned upon. You get sent off. He wasn't getting sent off for that in the 90s, early 2000s. And you can't get sent off for not touching a player. You know, he made the tackle. He got all of the ball. He didn't touch the player. He said if he touched the player, he could have broken his leg. Okay, if he does, and it's harsh to say, but it's sports. If he does break his leg, then send him off. Like, it's like a player going up to another player and then getting sent off because he could have punched him in the face. He didn't. You know what I mean? He didn't. So how can you send him off for something that didn't happen? Something that could have happened. It's ridiculous to me. Was it dangerous? Sure, but anything can be dangerous. Like, you can't say, was it dangerous if nothing came of it? Like, if man slides in, misses the player completely and gets all of the ball, then it's not a dangerous challenge. It's what should be classed as a great challenge because he got the ball. I could go on all day about it, but I think similar to David Luiz, Xhaka would get a red card based off reputation. And I think that's probably what's happened here also. Yeah, just like David Luiz did a couple of times last season, he should get a red card off of reputation. And then we'll go on to the left wing, who I think we should be playing Bukayo Saka there, our golden boy. Almost, yeah, our golden boy, Bukayo Saka. England's golden boy as well. Scored on his birthday for England. Everyone's really proud of him. Got a lot of love for that guy. And we're looking to see him kick on. It's going to be a tough season for him. It is, because we saw with Tottenham the season after the World Cup, when they had loads of their players at the England team for the World Cup, they came back and they were terrible. And it's because it's so intense. You're playing the full season for your club, in many games carrying us at the age of 19. You then go to the Euros, so you don't really get a summer holiday. You then go to the Euros, play for England, play really well there, then come back, and then you're carrying the Arsenal again. It's a lot, and we're going to burn him out if we keep playing him like this, but he's one of our best players, so we have no choice. I'm hoping he can kick on this season, and hopefully his performances don't dip, but it's possible, you know. We're very aware of that. Then at central attacking midfielder position, we're going to have Martin Odegaard. A really, really nice signing that Arsenal have made here. I think I was saying the most I would pay for Odegaard is 40 mil. We got him for less than that. So that's really good business for us. We've got a player who's young, a lot of upside. Was at the team last season and honestly was partially the reason for our turnaround in form in the second half of the season. Played really, really well. So yeah, and then at right wing, we've got Nicola Pepe, a terrific player. Honestly, a player that I'm so high on right now. 72 million. Like I said with Ben White, you can overpay for good players. Pepe is one of the best wingers we've had at the club in years. Let me say that again. Pepe is one of the best wingers we've had at the club in years. One of the best right wingers. Honestly, one of the best right wingers. I mean, if we're talking player for player, he's one of the best we've had. He's miles better than Walcott. Who was there before Walcott? I can't remember who was there before Walcott. He's a better winger than Ozil, because Ozil played on the wing, the right wing sometimes. Mkhitaryan also. Who else do we have there? Yeah, I can't even remember who else we would have played there. Would have Jovino played on the right? I don't know. Ox would have played on the right sometimes. Better than him. Yeah, so one of the best wingers we've had. He just needs to play. Mikel just needs to keep picking him. Because when he plays, and when he's given a run in the team, he's a nightmare for defenders. And can he be taken out of the game easily? Of course he can. But this is where people say that Pepe would excel in a team surrounded by good players, and I'll tell you why. When you've got a player like Pepe on the pitch, and he can break defenders' ankles and send them to the shops and back, teams like to put two players on him. Meaning, this creates more space for our other attackers. Odegaard, Saka, Aubameyang, Partey. This creates more space for them to go forward, knowing that two defenders are now occupied with Pepe. But where we don't have the players that are, I don't want to say not good enough, or not doing their job, they're not taking advantage of that situation where Pepe is occupying 2 players, there should now be more space for Odegaard, Pepe, Saka, Aubameyang to run into the box, run into space, and make use of it. But they don't. And when they don't, it just looks like Pepe is just playing bad. No, Pepe is doing his thing. He's got the presence. He's addressing. He's bringing 2 defenders with him. So that's now taking him out of that phase of play. You other attackers, do your job now that you've got more space, because I've taken these out of the game for you. But yeah, that's the situation with Pepe. But yeah, another player that I'm really high on. I could talk about him all day, just like Odegaard. And up front, we're going to have the main man, the captain, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And I'm not happy about this, because he had a terrible season last season. But he's probably going to start up front, because Lacazette hasn't got much time left on his contract, and I don't think he wants to sign a new one. And Aubameyang, even when Aubameyang's not scoring, he probably brings a bit more to the team than Nketiah, and Balogun's not ready yet. So we'll go with Aubameyang up front. Even in a bad season, he's still got double figures for goals. So, you can't complain too much, but he's a big fall off in form considering where he was just 2-3 years ago. But hopefully now that fans are back, he can step up and start getting some goals again, hopefully. But nothing in this world is guaranteed. But yeah, that's it from me. So as you can see, we're playing a 4-2-3-1. That's my Arsenal squad. Let's go over it again. In goal, Ramsdale. Left back, Tierney. Centre back, Gabriel, White. And then right back, Tomiyasu. Double midfield pivot of Xhaka, Partey. Attacking midfielder, Martin Odegaard. Left winger, Bukayo Saka. Right winger, Nicola Pepe. And up front, the captain, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I think this team will finish between 6th and 9th. I really struggle to think that this team would do better than 6th, honestly. I think there are much better teams out there. It would take for these players to massively overperform, which they won't do, because they've shown they can't do that, or another big team to have an injury crisis and completely fall off the cliff. Which could happen. Of course it could happen. But yeah, that's what I think it would take for them to finish above 6th. Best case scenario, we keep everyone fit, everyone's on form, Aubameyang scoring, Saka can get some goals, Partey can get some goals, Odegaard can create, Partey stays fit, Tierney stays fit, Ben White fits in nicely, and Tomiyasu is able to adapt, and Ramsdale can keep the goals out. They've definitely got a chance. And if that all goes in their favour, I still don't see them finishing higher than 6th. But realistically, players like Aubameyang probably won't reach the heights he was a few years ago. I think those days are gone now. Because when you're a player of his age and you have those sorts of seasons, you don't really tend to come back from it. In the Premier League as well, with all this pressure on you, it's hard to come back from. Xhaka got sent off. You can expect to see a couple more of those this season. That'll cost the team. Partey, he'll probably get injured again for maybe a month or so. That'll hamper the team because he's our best midfielder. Tierney, our best left back, will probably get injured as well. Ben White will probably be left exposed a couple of times, and that'll cost us goals. So yeah, between 6th and 9th is my estimation. But yeah, let me know if you think Mikel Arteta will play this team, how long you think he's going to last in the job even, and where do you think Arsenal will finish this season. Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you don't want to miss out on more content just like this one, make sure you subscribe to Highbury Hit Squad. It's been your boy Highbury Hit Squad. It's been a fun time. I'm out. Peace.